You're watching Movie Guide. I'm Evie Bear, and I'm here with Teddy Bear.
With Ted Bear, her father, who's here, delighted to be here at Mom's Night Out. Now, you're not a mom. How come you're having a night out?
Well, maybe I will, and someday.
Maybe someday. And, you know, my wife, who is a mom, is having a night out. So go to movieguide.org to find out more about Mom's Night Out.
You are that chaotic when the kids are left with you. That's kind of what's happening.
If they ever find themselves in the untenable position of having agreed to be left alone with me, it always goes awesome.
As a guy,
Yeah.
that will eventually maybe one day be a mother. What's your message to moms out there?
I'm never going to be a mother. Do I have to draw you a picture? Oh, what, about them being mothers? I'm going to have a heart attack.
He won't let us out of the house.
What do you want to know if that?
What's the message you have to give to moms out there?
Oh, this is a good one. I would say that the three of you should always remember to have some space for yourself. That you'll be a better wife, you'll be a better mother if you remember to take care of yourself first.
What do you feel like you relate most to in this character?
I relate to her in so many ways. I think I relate to the overwhelmed feeling that she has in the role of motherhood. I relate to her aspect of trying to take care of everybody all the time, making sure everyone's happy and forgetting to take care of herself. I totally get that. I'm really bad at self-care. And I relate to the journey that she comes to where she discovers that she really is enough, because I think in my life I've begun to kind of realize that myself and let go of a lot of things. So I really do connect to her pretty deeply and profoundly.
You're a mom in this, a single mother. Tell us a little bit more about your character.
Yeah, I play a 19-year-old single mom, and the other three moms in the film are traditional moms, come from traditional families and have traditional kids. And I'm sort of the wild card that comes in and messes up the whole night and makes a bunch of mistakes and learns from my lesson, blah, 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 blah.
You start a lot of chaos, don't you?
You know what, it's so movies like this are so much fun to tell, and it's so much fun to watch, and I think that's what I'm most excited about sharing with everybody.
Now, you guys had some great little elements of comedy in Courageous, but I think this movie has a lot of great comedy. And why do you think that it's kind of hard for people to write comedy and produce it?
Yeah, well, because comedy is incredibly subjective. I think that's the hardest thing. I think some people have tried to do it, but this is my first comedy. It's the Irwin's first comedy, and what we learned was this is really hard. Because it is so subjective, and what we realized is not only you got to have a good script, but you've got to really cast it well. And we thought long and hard about our cast. We handpicked every one of them, and because of who they are and what their talent is, and so we allowed them to just bring their talent to the set and roll some of the time with what they believed or what they thought. And there's just so many funny bits. There's such a good cast, and we were blessed to be able to work with them.
Now, is it really that bad when they leave the kids with you?
It might be cliche to say so, but heck yes. Because, us guys, we have the best intentions. When we were going to filming, I told my wife, let me have the kids for the weekend. I got this. Go have a fun weekend. I came back and said, your job's way harder than mine. So, the kids survived, but it's definitely laugh out loud. Every minute is just a wild ride.
I know, it's very funny, but that's kind of a turn in the tides for you because you've done more serious stuff in the past. So how was that taking on comedy?
Yeah, drama is definitely our background, and that's where our roots are, and that's why I was, nervous about stepping into this world. But what the script had was underneath it, it wasn't just about like the laughs. Underneath it, it had a great heart. And if I can buy into the heart, I have to believe this story before I can tell the story. I believe this story, and so because of it, we put the laughs on top, and it had a great chemistry where, it's just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and I asked him, is it that chaotic? I mean, you can tell me when you leave the kids with him. Is it that crazy?
I think it goes over pretty well. However, we've had many moments where
I will say
it gets crazy.
It is
How can
crazy
it
at the Irwin
not?
house. I will say that somebody asked me, they said, what happens to the dads in this movie? Kind of over the top. And I'm like, no, it's really not at all happened to me. Like, this is all based on actual life experience. So I have issues being a dad. I love my kids, but I can be dysfunctional a little bit, and I'm more the ones that let them, do crazy stuff in the house and have all the sugar they want, and it comes back to haunt me. And but the good news is I can channel all that into a movie, and I think people will really identify. This isn't one of those like far-fetched comedies. This is really relatable humor, and everyone that is investing daily into the life of a child knows how important that is, but also knows how stressful it is. And so hopefully this is a movie to celebrate every mom out there, and it's a great movie for parents to realize that, you know, what we're doing is really important, even if it's really stressful.
But you're acting more here. You know, how was that? How was that transition of not being behind the scenes?
Well, I love and trust the guys that made this film. It's fun to show up and just act, not worry about the director's hat, producer's hat. So I had a great blast doing this film.
It's awesome. Do you guys have any funny stories about your mom just needing that relief?
You know, my wife and I have 6 kids. Anna's number 2, but the oldest daughter, and she needs a break so much of the time. Wonderful mother, but it's going to speak to so many people. And when I look at the movie, I see so many instances in the film that we can relate to. So people are going to love this film.
That's a wrap from the red carpet of Mom's Night Out. Take a look at the full review at movieguide.org.